Round 15 is just wrapped up, so this is my ratings for the round 15 matchups. First game of the weekend, we saw the Sharks up against the Dolphins. Let's talk about the Sharks. Now, I thought the Sharks played well-ish. The Dolphins are still a top 4 side. Let's not forget that. But I'm going to give the Sharks a 6 out of 10. They had plenty of heart in that second half, and I think if Nico Hines nails that goal, I'm saying Sharks win in overtime, but they didn't, so I can only warrant giving them a 6. The standout performances, you got to give it up for, I think, 2 players. Brenton Nikora, just absolute menace. If I had to give him a rating, it'd be up there, 9, 10. Every time he touched the ball, he looked extremely dangerous. And I think as a Sharks fan, you'd be, even though you lost, you'd be pretty happy about the way that especially Brenton played. Another player that we've got to acknowledge is Josifa Talkai. Looks so strong wherever you put him. He can pretty much play wherever. You put him in the centers, he can play well there. Put him on the edge, just super powerful, and then he can play the middle as well. As a Sharks fan, again, you're super happy that you've got him in your team. On to the Dolphins. I am giving the Dolphins an 8 out of 10. That's right. You have to respect the fact that they won against the Sharks. They were able to hold on. Hamiso just looks phenomenal. He's sort of looking like Greg Inglis back in the day, where he plays center for Queensland, but he plays fullback for club. And if there wasn't a Reece Walsh or a Kalen Ponga, if there wasn't a Billy Slater at the time, Inglis would have been playing fullback for the Maroons. Same with Hammer. He deserves every accolade that he looks phenomenal. I'd give him a 10 out of 10 for that game. Just beautiful. Another player that we have to give praise to, Herbie Farnworth. He has looked so dangerous this season. One of the biggest losses for the Broncos for sure. England international. If he played for either state, he'd be a lock. Moving on to the second game of the weekend, we had the Raiders up against the North Queensland Cowboys. North Queensland getting up 34-16, quite an easy win from the looks of things. A little bit concerning if you're a Raiders fan. They didn't look great in attack at all, really. They looked very flat, lots of mistakes. If you're a Raiders fan, the only thing that you're really taking out of that game is the fact that Josh Papali'i was playing well, starting to come back. Your middle forwards as well, Joe Tapine looked really good as well. So outside of those two, really, I didn't see a whole heap. Elliot Whitehead made a lot of mistakes. Hudson Young didn't look like himself. It just looks like they're missing an attacking flair. I don't know if it's Jordan Rapana at fullback, whether that's maybe not working as well for them, but it really does look like they're missing something. Ethan Strange, Kyo Weeks, both young halves, sort of struggled there against the veterans of the Cowboys. If you're a Cowboys supporter, you are absolutely buzzing. I mean, Ruben Cotter looked great. I can't stress enough how good Ruben Cotter looked. Players like Valentine Holmes absolutely flying onto the ball. If I had to give these two teams ratings, the Raiders are going to get like a 2 out of 10. I really wasn't impressed with their performance. Playing at home as well, you needed to be there. You needed to be better. The Cowboys playing away from home, lots of energy, coming off a big loss last week to the Warriors. I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10. There's not much more that they could have done to look better. So, phenomenal game. If you're a Cowboys supporter, you're buzzing. On to what I thought at the start of the round was going to be the game of the round, and it turned out to just sort of be not great. And that's the Rabbitohs-Broncos. Rabbitohs got up 22-12 quite easily, to be honest. It never really looked like Brisbane was threatening at all. If you're a Rabbitohs supporter, you are praying that Latrell doesn't get picked for New South Wales because he looks phenomenal in that number 1 spot. And if you're a Broncos supporter, you cannot wait for Reece Walsh and Adam Reynolds to come back into the teams. I'm giving the Rabbitohs a 9 out of 10 for their performance. That's 3 on the trot, looking great. And the Broncos sliding down the table. I'm going to give them a 3 out of 10. Tristan Saylor really struggled at the back there. He's still young, but the rain, the bombs from Latrell really put him under a lot of pressure. And watching the Broncos, they didn't have that same pressure from their kicks. I think that they're really missing Reynolds and Walsh being able to put up those spirals that make kicks threatening, make the chase of like Jordan Ricky or Tony Staggs feel like it's going to be so much worse because the fullback can't get in position to take the ball properly. On to our Saturday game, West Tigers and the Titans playing at Leichhardt, and the Tigers turned up. The Tigers looked really good, I think. Few young guns coming through. I'm giving the Tigers a 7 out of 10. They looked good, but there's things that they definitely could have done better. Young guns coming through. You got Jareem Buller at fullback. I think of the Fainu boys. Samuelu looked really, really good as well. Really flourishing into sort of that same archetype as Jeremiah Nanai. So really, really looking up for the Tigers, I think. Benji's doing some special things over there. I'm not sure why everyone wants to leave the Tigers. Luai coming next season. Luai looked phenomenal. We'll get onto that a little bit later. But Luai coming next season. Tigers fans, be excited. And Titans fans, I think you're allowed to be a little bit concerned. One upside, Keanu Kinney looked great at fullback, but I'm going to give the Titans a 2 out of 10. Didn't look that threatening. I mean, you have David Fifita, and outside of that, I didn't really see any attacking flair outside of David Fifita and Keanu Kinney. So a little bit to be worried about there. With the competition getting so much younger as well, I think that you'd be a little bit concerned moving forward if you're going to stick with Kieran Foran. We just need to see more from them. We need to see more attacking flair. We need to see good footy. Next, we've got the game of the round that sent me into a spiral. I'm a Waz supporter through and through. Warriors all the way. They lost to the Storm 38-24, but got out to an 18-0 lead. What was happening, boys? Unfortunately, there were some calls that went against us. There were definitely calls that deserved to go. I mean, Montoya, brain explosion. He takes the quick tap, and what are you doing? Why are you making that tackle? Looking back, Tohu Harris, Sean Johnson, they didn't look great. You had Dallin also committing a silly offense and getting sin bin for it. But all in all, the attack just didn't look right. I think Sean Johnson looks a little bit scared to take the ball to the line, and unfortunately, I love Sean Johnson. I grew up on Sean Johnson. The footwork of the man is insane, but if you're not going to take the ball to the line, it's as a running 7, I'm not sure that you can stay in there. Tohu Harris is the same. As soon as Dylan Walker moved away from that 13 position, the attack looked so much slower. And somehow we've got to figure out a way to just make it better. Warriors supporters, hold on to your socks. I'm holding on to mine. I'm giving the Warriors a 1 out of 10. I don't understand not bringing Chanel Harris-Tavita on until the last 8 minutes. He came on and just lit a fire. I'm so confused why he stayed on the bench for so long. I understand dropping him for Sean Johnson, but why is Wade Egan playing pretty well 80? Could we not play him 60 minutes, give Chanel 20 minutes to just attack those tired forwards? It just doesn't make sense to me. The Storm, I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10. I would give them a 10 out of 10 if they didn't concede those early points. However, they did. The Storm looked so dangerous, and that's a Storm team without Cameron Munster. The rest of the comp should be on absolute lookout because the Storm looked phenomenal. Katoa, just a beast, just so strong. Breaking tackles, line breaks, left, right, and center. Suolauvi Fa'alongo just looked phenomenal as well. Every time he touched the ball, he was flying. He looks like Reece Walsh did in his debut season. And I know it's hard to mount that pressure on him, but he really does look like a phenomenal attacking option for the Storm. If you're a rival club, I know the Storm have re-signed him, but if you're a rival club, you want Fa'alongo because Pappenhausen's probably going to come in, take that number 1 jersey, but Fa'alongo looks so strong that if you're a rival club, you want him. Coming through now, we have the Eels against the Roosters. The Roosters get up 28-18 in what I'd call a scrappy match. Neither team really looked phenomenal. I'm going to give the Eels a 6 out of 10. Look, there's so many things that the Eels need to work on. I don't know if Clint Gutherson is the answer at fullback. I think Blaze Talangi looked stronger, and I think that they could use somebody like Gutherson at center, but fullback is an attacking position now. Fullback, you need to be attacking those edges, and I'm not sure Gutherson has the speed to be able to do that. If you're a Roosters supporter, you are absolutely thrilled to be able to walk away with the points. The takeaways from if you're a Rooster, Spencer Leniu looked like a wrecking ball. Really looked strong every time he touched the ball. He was running with intent. And that's what you want to see out of your big middle forwards that you're paying a lot of money to. All of this Brandon Smith talk around the club, I thought that they might come in, they might be under a little bit of pressure, but they just played phenomenally. Connor Watson thoroughly deserves his selection call-up, so I really hope that he gets it. If you're watching this video, I'm literally recording it right after the last game, so if the team list is already out, I apologize. On to our Sunday games, and we had the Sea Eagles up against the Dragons. The Sea Eagles pumping the Dragons 30-14. I'm giving the Sea Eagles a grade of 10 out of 10. That's right. I can't give them any lower because they played with so much heart. I mean, at one stage they were down to 13 players. They had no one on the interchange, and they just pushed through. Olakau'atu, just wow, what a player! If I was a Manly supporter, I'd be buying him drinks for the rest of his life. He would never have to pay for a drink again. Daly Cherry Evans, aging like fine wine, looks phenomenal still. I really hope he keeps going. Just looks great. And Luke Brooks, just a turnaround of form from the Tigers through to Manly now. Yeah, great. I'm giving the Sea Eagles a 10 out of 10. Well done. If you're a Dragon supporter, a little bit more concerned. Your team is the most up and down team in the competition, I'd say. I'm giving the Dragons a 3 out of 10. Dragons fans, you should be angry at your team. Your team should have won that. Manly were in the bin. They didn't have enough players to cover. I mean, they looked... I'm lost for words. I am lost for words. Zach Lomax, he's been so inconsistent. I understand he scored in the 46th minute, but I don't know if I buy it still. Ben Hunt is really the saving grace of the Dragons. Without Ben Hunt and Jaden Swart, that team looks like it struggles. I didn't realize how big a difference not having Moses Suli on the field makes as well. The defensive option on that edge, it's so different not having him there, I suppose. But yeah, Dragon supporters, 3 out of 10, sorry. And then on to the final game of the round. The Panthers up against the Knights at McDonald Jones Stadium. The Panthers, just, you see it, winning DNA. I'm giving the Panthers a 10 out of 10. No Nathan Cleary still. You've got Dylan Edwards coming back for his first game, not fully match fit, I'd say. Jerome Luai stepped up. Jerome Luai looked like the 7 that the Tigers should be looking forward to, and just showed why he's on a different level, I suppose. I think he's crushed any New South Wales talk. He should be the New South Wales 6 or 7. I understand going with somebody else for the other option. You need a good kicker. I think Moses deserves his shot. 100% Jerome Luai should be in that team, and if he's not, I'd be pretty upset if I was a Blues supporter. The Knights, yes, you lost the game, but I'm still giving you a 7 out of 10. There were times in the game where the Knights looked good. Fletcher Sharp really showed that he is next in line after Kalen Ponga. You can see why Armstrong is heading overseas. I would love to see Armstrong at the Warriors. Please, David, come to the Warriors. But yeah, I think the Knights, they're on an edge. They're on an edge where if they get some really good halves in there, that team can flourish. But without those really good halves, it's gonna be a struggle to be winning games consistently, and you're gonna win off talent rather than having a good group. You have some really strong middle forwards as well. So yeah, Knights supporters, it's a 7 out of 10 for me. But let me know what you guys think. New South Wales team list is coming out. I'm sure I'll do a reaction video to it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who did I grade wrong? Who did I grade harshly? I'm doing some extra videos, thinking of doing it, doing like predictions in the week, and not the predictions that you see on every other channel, more so who's going to be the biggest surprise of the round, who's going to be the biggest flop of the round, and go through a video like that. So if you're looking forward to seeing that, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and you'll see plenty more content coming your way. Cheers, brother.